Welcome back to our weekly live stream. And my team, as always, is backstage and they will join to enter the conversation with me in a few minutes. They'll also help out in answering all of your carnivore diet related questions. Today's topic is just for us to share all of the no BS carnivore advice that I personally have learned in the past 6.5 years, that Todd has learned in his carnivore journey, and that Melanie has learned during her carnivore journey. So I'm going to start off with sharing one major pillar that I think a lot of new carnivores frequently forget, which is simplicity is so important. Why? Because when we are new at a diet like a carnivore diet or a ketogenic diet, or even just an animal based diet, we frequently overthink things. And I know this is true and it is a trend because I get new members and new carnivores coming into the Steak and Butter Gang literally every day. So when I observe the new members coming in, I also get to see the questions that these new carnivores are constantly asking in the Zoom calls that we host in the community, in the live streams right here as well. Let me know if you're in the Steak and Butter Gang, by the way, put it in the chat. But frequently, the questions are such as, what's the fat to protein ratio I should be eating right now to lose 30 pounds in the next 30 days, right? Or how do I, eat the lion diet? Am I supposed to cut out dairy? Should I still have spices, seasonings, and sauces? So, simplicity to me is so important when starting off on a carnivore diet because that's what's going to really make it stick, what's really going to make it sustainable and enjoyable for you. There really is no one size or one way to do a carnivore diet to reap all of the benefits that you want for every single person. There's just no one size fits all. I wish there was to make it that much more easy and simple, but there just isn't because we've all been eating different stressful, wrong diets. We've all calorie restricted at different intensities. Some of us have worked way too hard in the gym, therefore wrecked hormones. Others have been on a vegan diet for 6 years, like me, and wrecked hormones that way. So the healing is not going to take just 30 days. And the damage that you've done on your body, your hormones and metabolism did not happen overnight or over a span of 30 days. It happened probably over a span of a couple years, maybe even a couple of decades. So, when coming into carnivore, let's keep the expectations realistic, but most of all, let's keep things simple and enjoyable. So, that's the biggest pillar of wisdom that I can offer you guys. After being a 6.5 year high fat carnivore, I'm not going to tell you guys that, oh, I discovered that this specific fat to protein, high fat way of eating carnivore is the way. Not necessarily for everyone. Instead, the best piece of advice is keep it simple, don't overthink it, and enjoy the journey. So, Todd is here on stage. What is
Right at
some
me.
yes advice that you'd like to share? And welcome.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, when I drug in the dieting mindset into carnivore, that was one of the biggest things that I had to learn to get. That was completely different in carnivore because the dieting mindset comes with this urgency that everything has to happen super fast, and I believe that that comes from because we've all been on a lot of diets and we know that they're not sustainable, especially the calorie restricted models. We know that I need to have X amount of weight lost in X amount of time because it's basically like I'm going to hold my breath for this long. I'm going to white knuckle it for this long to get to this point, and then things will be better. Right? Then I'll make this
Yeah.
goal, and then I can stop being miserable. I can stop torturing myself. And so when you bring that into carnivore and you still want all these unrealistic goals, I mean, you can manipulate your body by starving it for sure. By working it out really hard and starving it, you can force it, to burn a bunch of fat and burn a bunch of muscle and eat a bunch of lean tissue and physically make yourself smaller. But you're not fixing any problems and you're going to be on that roller coaster. And when we bring that into carnivore and we don't accept that this isn't a diet, this is our proper, human diet that we have to, proper human nutrition that we have to eat, and that this is going to be long term and that it's okay because it really is the fast way, even because we're not going to keep going backwards on this. You don't, you're off the roller coaster, so you don't go backwards. And it's actually, you get a little bit better and you get a little bit more free and you get a little more satiated and you heal a little bit more every day, real healing, not just weight loss, but healing. And so everything gets easier because you get stronger and you get more and more free. And then you start to understand that health is so way more important than an arbitrary number on the scale. But, just understanding that it is so ridiculous to, to define our health by a number on a scale and then to try to simplify the whole endocrine system and hormonal signaling and chemical signaling down to a calorie matrix is absolutely ridiculously stupid. Like, we have to heal the endocrine system. We have to heal our hormones and our brain chemistry to actually be free from this and heal. And there's only one way to do that, and that's to nourish the body.
And let's just take a moment to think about how come when Todd was restricting calories, he could not lose weight for the life of him. And then when he started eating 5,000 calories of steak on a carnivore diet a day, he started dropping the weight. How come when I was vegan, eating 1,400 calories a day, I was puffy as ever? I just couldn't lose that water weight. How come now as a carnivore, I'm eating 2,500 to 3,000 calories a day and I'm leaner than ever? So yeah, I agree with you, Todd. Like, just look at our own experiences and our before and afters and what diet we were on each side. And there's no way we can believe in calories anymore after walking it ourselves and seeing how it affected us, right?
For sure. 100%. Yeah. And you just see what harm it's doing to people, before, like, the 70s or even mid 60s, we didn't even hardly know the word calorie, right? We didn't pay attention to any of that. And, we were working in North Dakota. We had to rent an old farmhouse and they had a bunch of pictures in there from like 1890 to 1920s, and you looked around,
Mhm.
there wasn't an overweight person. There wasn't the moon faces, the inflammation.
Right.
When you looked at all those old pictures, everybody was healthy, everybody
Exactly.
was just in shape and lean and healthy, and those guys didn't know what a calorie was. And then, come 1960, to 70s, we start doing this, watching our calorie crap because the reality was it was necessary, or so we thought, because they had screwed up our food environment and they're giving us all this, nutriently deficient, products of junk that we were trying
Mhm.
to eat all this crap, and that was causing everybody to get inflamed and hold on to inflammation and fluid and gain weight and put on body fat. And so they tried to manipulate it. But when you really look at how intelligent the endocrine system is and our hormones are and our body's signaling network, to try to take all that sophistication and nuances and boil it down to something stupid like a calorie restriction is so
Yeah.
crazy, knowing how when we restrict and we don't eat the right things, it just bombs our whole, our hormones and our brain chemistry, and then our body's just off kilter and we think we're gonna somehow fix that by putting less stuff in it. Which is crazy. And the only reason why that has any effect at all is because the less stuff that they're trying to keep you from putting it in it are poisonous seed oils and refined sugars.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. We're not healing anything, we're just poisoning ourselves slower by restricting. It's crazy.
Amazing. No BS advice. Now, in relation to forgetting the calories, stop focusing on the calories, do you believe that it's all about the insulin and managing and controlling the insulin?
Well, I mean, that's part of the endocrine system for sure, for sure. So that's one of the big things for sure. What do you think, Melanie?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's so many things that you guys both said. Hi, everybody in YouTube
Hi,
world.
Melanie.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, so many things that you guys touched on. I can totally relate to. And I came to SBG and Carnivore Way because I didn't want to count calories. And I really go into a tizzy when I have to count or macros. And somebody wants me to say, well, have you counted your macros or have you counted your calories? I'm like, oh, no, I start freaking out. Um, like you said, Bella, just keeping it simple. Having been in the career that I was used to regimen. So for me, I didn't have a problem coming to carnivore and eating a steak, ribeye and eggs every single day, 3 meals a day seemed like, or I'd, interrupt it with some fish and this and that. But I think you have to keep it simple. And I think that I'm taking my own advice now from when I was in the group in the beginning about trusting the process. Laura says that a lot, but it's giving myself grace and understanding that nothing happens overnight, because you all know how many times I was in those meetings in tears because I was so upset that, quote, the process for me wasn't working, but eventually it does. And I'm even learning, like right now, I had to give up my favorite honey bear bars. I just have to say it live. I'm sorry, but they were triggering me. You know, I started to realize that it was something that was not, and it's probably the honey, you know, just was not working well for me. So I had to give those up. So, you know, I think during the process, you have to evaluate and weigh what's working for you and what's not. And don't worry about, you know, if you slipped up or, you know, you ate something you weren't supposed to. You can jump right back on. It's not that big of a deal. But I totally agree with what both of you said.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing your thoughts, Melanie. Very valuable. Now, let me just wrap up and then we're going to answer all of your questions efficiently today. So do start your question with a capital Q so we can identify that it's a question, and we'll do it in order. With the whole insulin, managing your insulin, if there's anything that the SBG team wants you to focus on number-wise, it is not going to be the weight on the scale, how much you weigh, like forget about that. It is not going to be how many calories you ate every day, and it's most certainly doesn't even have to be the macros that you ate day to day. Really, what you could focus on, if you must insist on focusing on a number, is your glucose, your blood glucose. So what's very popular in the ketogenic community is to take your blood glucose throughout the day and see the trends. Is it spiking like crazy and then dropping like crazy multiple times throughout the day? Or is it doing this, which is honestly ideal in our goal? This. No one's blood glucose is going to be like this, static, unchanging. But it is very natural and healthy to have slow rises and slow dips, especially around when you work out and when you're eating. And guess what? The best food there is to eat to prevent major dramatic glucose spikes and dips. Please take a guess. Yeah, put it in the chat. What do you think? Obviously, it's going to be pretty much any animal food. So steak, butter, eggs. Obviously, if you want to focus on like barely no spike at all, just for experiment's sake, then Melanie's right. Butter, tallow, lard, any pure animal fat is really going to prevent that. Meat is just the best, most sustainable food because you're getting the protein, you're getting the sustenance, and you are feeling so satiated for long periods of time without spiking the insulin constantly throughout the day. Okay, so it's just some food for thought. Let's jump into the questions now, starting with Amanda. Welcome. How much butter do you have daily now that you have healed? And how do we know if/when we should start lowering fat intake from 80% calories? So let me just understand the second one. How do we know when we should start lowering fat intake from 80% calories? Are we understanding this 80% calories?
I'm thinking that they're counting
Yeah.
calories, and that shouldn't be. I mean, if they're just wanting to eat to your full, I mean, if you're doing a 2-to-1, that might be something. But
Yeah,
I'm not sure I understand the question.
80%, 80% fat or 80% calories by fat is 2-to-1 fat to protein ratio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got it. Okay. So the very popular 80-20 ratio. Sure. So, okay. For the new carnivores, let me give you the backstory of where I started when I first began. Day one of carnivore was like year one of carnivore was the highest fat carnivore approach that I ever took out of all 6.5 years of my carnivore journey. And it's because I was coming from 6 years of malnourishment. I call a vegan diet a diet of malnourishment. I lost my period. My hormones were wrecked. I was having brain fog 24/7. I just felt so low energy all the time. And any 20-year-old is not supposed to feel like that. So obviously something was wrong. And when I first started carnivore, I had this insatiable appetite for fat. I couldn't stop eating the fat. And I chose cold sticks of butter because it's just so easy to take it out of the fridge, unwrap it, and eat it like a bar. And so I would eat anywhere from 1 stick of butter to 2 sticks of butter. I know it's shocking. Do you have to eat this much? No, you do not. It all depends on what you need to heal, okay? So if you're a female who lost her period, yes, I actually do recommend aiming for at least 1 stick of butter a day to bring back that period. That is top priority. Can you believe, like, on TikTok when I post my carnivore videos, I get girls literally commenting, "Wait, you lost your period? Can you teach us how to do that? Because I don't want my period anymore." Like, teach us the ways. And they don't get it. Like, not having a period is so unhealthy. It's not the goal here. So it's just this new generation, the mindset, the undying obsession with trying to be skinny and look a certain way at the expense of what? Losing your period? Please. Let's prioritize the right things. And we are here for you to help heal. Okay. So 2 sticks of butter a day the first year. Second year, I would say, like, came down slowly to 1 to 1.5 sticks. Third year, still I was eating 1 stick of butter a day. I think it was maybe the fourth year when I really stopped needing a full stick of butter a day. These days, I'm 6.5 years in. I eat anywhere from half a stick of butter to maybe 3/4 stick of butter. Now, I'm also eating a lot of raw dairy, new raw dairy products I've never had before, like raw cottage cheese, raw kefir, raw yogurt every day. I'm always having fat in every single bite of my food. So I'm still a high fat carnivore. And I really wouldn't focus, Amanda, on the whole 80-20 thing right now. If you're craving for fat, go to town with the fat. Do you have thoughts, Melanie?
Yeah, just eat it. I always say, just eat your hunger. I've never done the 2-to-1. I mean, I've been a carnivore almost 4 years. And when I came back to be with the team and stuff, I really had not heard a lot about this 2-to-1, right? I just ate till I was full. So I would just say, eat till you're full, happy, plus 2 bites and call it good. And like, I think this whole meeting is really about the fact that we do not want to get wrapped up in all of this counting, right? All of this structure, the scale, the calorie counting, the macros, right? It's like, no, just take a deep breath and just say no. Yeah.
Right.
I love it.
He gave us a super, and then here's his
Got
question.
it. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, firstly, Dudu, for the sticker. I watch all of the live streams. Thank you for all the good work every single person puts into every live stream. Keep it up. Thank you for the compliment. Thank you for the support. That's so nice.
Appreciate it.
Yes. Amazing. K-Day, welcome. Bella, please help. How long in general does it take to see complete weight loss? Thank you. This is the question.
Oh boy.
Yeah, get your magic 8 ball
Have
out.
a lottery ticket.
Yeah. I mean, and look, we don't blame you guys because we get a variation of this exact question every single live stream. Okay. And we wish we knew the answer. We wish there was one simple answer, but look at the reaction we just had. There's no way we can just answer that with a number. So what are your thoughts, Todd?
My thoughts are, I get where this question comes from, and this is what I'm trying to say. And the longer that I'm in carnivore and that we do these meetings and I try to help people, I see where it's coming from. This is coming from dieting anxiety, because everybody knows when you're dieting, the reason why this ridiculous pressure to get something done really quickly. I mean, I don't know how old you are, but you have your whole life to live, and these days are going to go by no matter what. And you're either getting sicker and you're still fighting the metabolic disease, or you're getting healthier. And I lost 300 pounds. One of the worst realizations that this goes deeper than weight for me was when I was 24, because I've been 600 pounds plus since I was 14. And when I was 24, I starved. I didn't eat for like 17 months. And I ran and I worked out and I did everything. I lost like 350 pounds, and I worked out and I got muscle and I got traps and I looked thin, and I was never more suicidal than at that point, because my mind was broken and I'd lost all the weight. And in my mind, if I hurried up and got there and I did something that was so hard to do, which was starve for 17 months and beat myself up and horrible mental health. And I got there and I was sicker. I was lighter and I looked better. I looked like I was healthy, but I was sicker and just suicidal and miserable. And it didn't fix any of the problems. It didn't fix any of the problems because I hadn't actually dealt with any of the problems. I had manipulated my body, made my metabolic disease worse, and it made my mental health worse. And I just looked better. That was literally the only thing that it did. I didn't feel better. I wasn't happier. My mental health was worse. Everything was terrible. And so, but we know that when we're doing that to ourselves, because it's really, this is why I am so angry that this system that we have has manipulated people into really believing that the way to health for you is to starve yourself and count calories. And if the more that you really look into it and you see how much your hormones and your brain chemistry have to play with actually being healthy and free and what you're actually supposed to feel like when you're healthy and optimal and have energy and good brain chemistry and not have anxiety and depression and just be riddled with all this nonsense. When you really look into that, the idea that they're even going to suggest to you that they can sum that up and boil it down to something so stupid as a calorie and then tell you that if you just put less things in your body that your body just desperately needs to heal, that you're going to be healthy somehow, that's where all this crap comes from. Because when you do these restrictive diets, you are in panic mode. You are in white knuckle mode. You are just trying to do something that your body was never meant to do. You're trying to manipulate your body. You're not healing anything. And so you're in this huge hurry so all that I'm telling you is, I know that right now in the mental space that people are at when they're at this desperate spot that they want to know a time because they're trying to hear us tell them that they're only going to have to suffer for 8 months or they're only going to have to suffer for 12 months. They're trying to find a number in their head that says, if I go through this living hell for this amount of time, I'm going to get this thing that's going to free me. And here's the reality. It's going to take years probably. It's probably going to take 3 to 5 years. It might even take 6 or 8 years. But the thing is it's to get to where you feel like is this completion, this end game. But the reality of it is I've been doing this for 34 months and I feel better. I'm not to the end. I'm not to the complete weight loss, like you put it. I'm 140 pounds from the complete weight loss. But what I can tell you is this me is stronger and healthier and feels so much better than the 24-year-old me that starved for 17 months. And I have more health and more strength and more mental acuity and just mental health and so free that I don't care anymore. What I'm telling you is on Carnivore, you do not have to have this anxiety about the timeline because every day gets better. And every day you're getting out of your situation. And every day you're getting less and less sick and more strong and healthy. And this is where you actually want to go. So this is the path of least resistance. This is the short way, even though you can't see it because you're measuring it with a matrix that's built to keep you sick.
Bravo.
Yeah,
I mean,
very good. Can't follow that.
that was awesome. That was awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Todd, for that.
No worries.
Very complete answer. And this is actually a perfect time to let you guys know who are new here. Look, we get it. It's hard to do it alone, especially if all of the people around you in your real life think you are nuts and crazy for doing meat only diet. But guess what? There really is a huge community online doing it together. The Steak and Butter Gang. What do you want to say, Todd?
Absolutely. It's, when I first started realizing that there was so much more to this than what I was just talking about, the calorie stuff, was when I was listening to Robert Lustig and Gary Taub talking about that, militaries couldn't hold a gun to soldiers' head and affect their behavior with law. They actually had to create systems of environment around them to manipulate and to change the behavior and habits of soldiers in the military to get them to do what they wanted them to do. They couldn't threaten them with punishment enough, severe enough, or death to get them to do it, but they could change the environment and that would actually make lasting change. And that's what's happened to our food environment. And the reason why I love SBG and the steak and butter communities, because what I realized is that is such a powerful truth that all the government's militaries and all the government's agencies that need to change and manipulate the behavior of human beings and the psychology of human beings, they use the environment to do it. and they change their environment. So let's not fight that system. Let's just understand that that's a super powerful thing that we can do, and understand that if we want to change our habits and the outcome of our environment, we have to change the environment. And that's what SBG is to me. It's my new environment. And we are lucky enough with, it comes with the good and the bad, but what has come with social media and, online communities like this is you get to pick ones that create an environment that you want to be a product of. And I suggest a good carnivore community because you are going to be a healthy product coming from that community. So SBG is my community, but also it's my environment. It keeps me locked in to what makes me healthy.
Yeah, and Todd is like a leading voice and a leading guider in the Steak and Butter Gang these days because he hosts so many meetings in there. It's not just an online forum, by the way, guys. There are plenty of Zoom calls that you literally can hop on and speak to the team face to face. You unmute and you actually speak to them, okay? It's not just typing and being a keyboard warrior whatsoever. Melanie, you've been an OG. What are your thoughts on community?
Oh, absolutely. That's why I'm here. I truly believe, just like Todd said, when your friends think you're crazy and, they're telling you that you're going to die because you don't have vegetables and fruits, I can come to a place where I know that I can get support, and just the people that we've met in these meetups and around the country, with our carnivore community is like no other. I mean, this is a family to us. I mean, Todd and you and our team and all the carnivore community in SBG and outside, we are family. And that's what's the beauty of this entire group. So yeah, I have nothing but praise for the carnivore community and SBG for sure.
I love you guys, and I love the gang. Everyone in the gang, you guys are family. Let's keep going. Okay. Have you seen people in their early 30s reversing gray hair with a carnivore diet? I have. Raymond.
Oh, did he?
Now, he may not have been in his early 30s, but I met him when he was like 45. And I remember distinctly he showed up to a Steak and Butter Game meeting all excited and like, guys, I have something to report. My gray hairs are becoming black again. And that triggered more of like the attention. And this is the funny thing about these meetings. Someone says something about a victory, and this whole slew of people are like, hold on, I'm seeing that too, or I'm feeling that too. But it's a thing. The gray white hairs reversing in color. Not really related, but we've had 60-year-old, 70-year-old women growing hair on their legs again for the first time. We've had women who thought they were in menopause who reversed it and got their period back. Don't get a heart attack here. It's just that their body is healing.
You need it.
Yeah.
I actually, it's not working for me, Bella. I'm just saying, but it's
That's
okay. I'm still eating a lot of butter. It's all good.
Beautiful. Yeah. And Todd, your hair is growing back.
My hair is growing back, but I'm actually getting more gray. But
great. I've never seen Todd without his hat, so I don't know.
Yeah, Todd doesn't take it. Todd's been bald and gray since Todd was like 18, so Todd doesn't take off.
Dang it! This is not the day today. You're going to take your hat off for us, Todd.
No, and there's other reasons I'm not taking off my hat. All right, I'll tell it because you guys are going to get a kick out of it. See this? I'm missing eyebrows right now.
Oh,
what happened?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
I grew them all the time, and I got a new a razor, and it had a different setting on it. And when I went to trim my eyebrows, it slipped and it went all the way down, and I gouged one of my eyebrows. And you can't just shave one eyebrow. so I got to keep my hat down tight to hide the eyebrows. So there'll be no reveal for about 2 months until my eyebrows grow back.
Why was the razor near your eyebrow in the first place?
Because I was trimming my eyebrows because they get so dang long. It's got a guard on it, and you set the guard, and then it just cleans it up so that I don't look like I have old grandpa grouchy eyebrows.
Gotcha.
So I was cleaning them up. But this one right here, this new razor that I bought, this son of a gun has an adjustable top on it. Well, it slipped all the way down when I went and put it up there, and I went zit, and I went, oh damn, because it took my eyebrow. So I had to shave the other one so I wasn't lopsided, and now I just got to keep my hat down tight so you guys don't know I'm missing eyebrows.
Oh my god, that is so adorable.
Leave it to
I
Todd.
love
I love it.
Yeah. Hilarious,
Whatever.
hilarious. Literally could not even have been able to tell, even if you lifted the hat, because
Well,
your brows are very light.
yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
I'm lucky that my hair is a little bit light, so it wasn't the end of
Yeah.
the world, but I was
Exactly.
definitely planning on hiding it with my hat brim for a
And he's
while.
got his glasses kind of covered too. So he's
Exactly. I put that up too because I'm like, I gotta cover those. It
hey,
looks
we're
like
making Todd turn red.
I
oh,
love that.
no, I was
Great
laughing
story.
at myself. I was like, I look like I just went through a fireworks accident.
I was just gonna say, yeah, did you do something with the fire? And then nope, it's
Mhm.
the razor blade.
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you
Funny.
for that story. Okay, so this next question is about what we think about a little kimchi on a carnivore diet. So kimchi, if you guys don't know, is a Korean vegetable, but it's a pickled vegetable. And
Like a
there's a
sauerkraut?
ton. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
Asian sauerkraut, basically. Korean version is just super spicy. They love their spices. Uh, my personal opinion is so the whole beauty of a carnivore diet is you are eliminating every plant, all plants. Okay. And so the first thing that always pops in my mind these days when plants are asked about is Dr. Chafee. Like plants are trying to kill you. Right. But I feel like his whole speech, which is a must watch, you must watch it. It's a lecture, and he really goes into the details about why plants potentially can be very problematic and inflammatory. But how would you know just how amazing and healing and beneficial a carnivore diet is until you truly cut all of that stuff out? You'll always be wondering. You'll always, in the back of your head, be thinking, man, what would happen if I cut out the kimchi, right? So we in the SBG team do love challenging you guys to like give it a go. Whenever you're ready, give it a go. 100% carnivore, doesn't have to be forever, just to see how you feel. What do you think, Todd?
Oh, for sure. And I think that exactly what you said. In fact, I believe lion diet's the best way to do that. I think everybody should do lion diet, high fat, 2-to-1 lion diet for 90 days, and then add things back in one at a time. However, I will say that my personal experience, just for me, and this is why your individual experience using carnivore as an elimination diet is the wisest thing you can do and to heal and see what those things are bugging you. I know I've had kimchi, and when I was doing a lot of 7-day fasts, it was something I would break a fast with because I noticed that it helped my digestive system work a little bit better with the vinegar and the ferment in there. And I did that a few times, and I didn't have an issue with it. But that's because I was so cleaned out. I got to find out what each individual thing did, and so I knew that kind of vinegar things and fermented things didn't bother me. There's a lot of people that it does bother and inflame. So I think you do absolutely have to check it out one at a time for yourself. And if you can do it, and as long as it doesn't bring back cravings, as long as it doesn't keep, mess with your hunger signals, and as long as it doesn't keep you from, eating plenty of fat, like you're not eating so much of it that you're not hungry for fat and protein, I think it's fine.
Beautiful. This one says, I try to gain weight by eating 3 sticks of butter per day. Am I doing it right? So I'll just take this real quick. If you're trying to gain weight, and I know we don't talk about healthy weight gain and tips for that enough, so these types of questions are very welcome. Here, the best way to gain weight is not to gorge yourself with lots of fat, because it's going to be very hard to gain healthy weight and make it stick if you are only relying on upping the fats. You most likely will benefit from eating a lot of dairy. So something that opens up the appetite, that's very palatable. So think of your favorite cheeses, and I would add that to every single meal. If you're worried about being inflamed and triggering whatever you are trying to heal, then raw, unpasteurized dairy. I know a lot of you guys are new, so this might be the first time you're hearing about it. Raw, unpasteurized dairy is a very different piece of food from your grocery store pasteurized dairy and cheese. It is so different, and I've experimented with one and the other, both. It does make a difference. So I don't digest pasteurized dairy nearly as well as raw unpasteurized dairy, because the amazing bacteria, probiotics, enzymes that literally break down and help digest the food is gone. It's killed and it's heated due to the pasteurization process. So If you believe that raw milk and raw dairy is dangerous and could kill you, and it's why it's illegal in most states, this is another rabbit hole that you will inevitably fall into and get to learn more about from us, the carnivores here, everyone in this community. We all kind of get it now. Raw dairy is king. It's just the best.
Bella, what would
So,
you say to
yeah,
somebody that has a dairy issue, though? Say they're trying to gain weight, but they can't do
sure.
dairy. Do you have suggestions?
That's a great question. I honestly still believe that raw dairy is still worth experimenting with, even if you are lactose intolerant. And this
Okay.
is the magical thing about raw dairy. I've already seen and heard from numerous new carnivores. They give it a try because I recommend it, because I tried it myself and it worked. They still give raw butter and raw cheese a shot. And what do you know? It actually didn't trigger their lactose intolerance because, again, that's just how different raw dairy is from pasteurized dairy. So I did link my all-time favorite raw dairy farm that does ship to most states, not all states, most states. And they are kind of like the loophole right now that makes it possible to get raw dairy because most states make raw dairy illegal. And I get it, it can be hard to find it. The farm is called Miller's Bio Farm and it's linked down below. Have fun trying that out. Let's keep going. Elena, welcome. Hello, I live in Canada and I was wondering if you've ever heard of Michaela Peterson. Of course.
Of course.
She is in YouTube as well and she has done carnivore diet and she sure is a testimony. Did you know that Michaela is one of the people that inspired me? So it's the other way around. Like she's the OG. She is huge. Her father, Jordan Peterson, did a huge service to us by basically getting it to the mainstream for us, because he gets invited on really big platforms and podcasts. He did a great thing for it. Michaela, as well as Dr. Baker. I mean, he is always on Joe Rogan, and then Joe Rogan openly trying it. What do you think, Todd?
Yeah, I was watching Jordan Peterson 6 years before he did carnivore. He's the reason that I'm doing carnivore was because Michaela Peterson's father. He was the reason because I was watching him because I don't think that there's a more articulate person on this planet than Jordan Peterson. And so I was watching everything I could of his. And then he started doing the lion diet when he went through his drug withdrawals from getting off of from the depression medication and everything. And he was using the lion diet. I was like, well, if pretty much the smartest guy on the planet's doing it, I think that's a good place to start.
I love that. Amazing. Would love to know, everyone watching, comment it, please. Who was the first carnivore that you discovered? So basically, who inspired you to go carnivore? Okay. This is Target Prime Rib. Hello, welcome.
Yeah.
Thomas.
I got my time machine, Thomas. No, but seriously, if you've ever looked at those pictures from like the 70s when all the kids were standing outside of a movie theater for Star Wars tickets, and they had all the pictures for the premieres, and there was no obese people in those pictures or inflamed people or sick people, and then like you said, these pictures out at the farmhouse when everybody in the 1890 to 1920, and everybody's just skinny. They don't look particularly happy because times were tough. This is in North Dakota, cold winters. So they look like they could take a punch too. They're some tough people, but they're all healthy,
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we start trying to manipulate our own bodies with calories and drugs and diets and, all this fad crap. And I mean, this is one failed experiment, like we can stop believing this lie now. It's so obvious,
Exactly. Well said. Let's keep going. Hello, everyone. Day 1 with the group. Looking forward to changing lives together. I love that mindset. And welcome to the gang, David. Lonnie. Hi, SB gang. Do you all fast? I personally don't. Like 2 mads, I don't count that as fasting. Do you, Todd?
Yeah, I fast, and I just do it intuitively now. Like I'll fast if I'm just having a busy week and I don't have time to do something. I'll do some fasting, or if I'm just in that mood and I can tell that I just don't have an appetite because I'm well primed, then I do fasting. And last year I did 12 7-day fasts alone last year. So yeah, I love fasting for sure.
Love it. Melanie?
I do not really. I just do natural fasting. I did early on in the gang, and then I kind of discovered my body kind of gets into some anxiety and stuff when I fast. So it was not really the best thing for me. And then with my hormones, but I will do maybe one day a month, but for the most part, I just allow my body to do natural fast with the 2 meals a day. And then, like Todd said, I could be 2 days on the weekend. I'm not hungry. I just won't eat. But, I
Perfect.
don't really work into fasting. So
Love it. All right. This one says, I started using CGM to know why I was waking up 1 to 3 a.m. The readings show a dip sometimes below 70 and then a sharp rise that stabilizes between 90 to 100. The rise would wake me. Why does it do that? So I actually had an experience having a CGM on me for about a month straight, and it was quite an eye-opening experience to see exactly what caused my blood glucose to spike a little, to dip a little, to dip a little bit further, to spike a little bit higher than usual. What I noticed is when I'm stressed, it spikes. It like actually spikes quite a lot when I'm stressed. The second thing that really affected the thing to spike was working out. So working out is actually seen as a good stressor, but it's a stress. So when I worked out, during the workout, it would go up and then it would come down naturally, slowly when I rested. When I got stressed or maybe got a little bit frantic, right? Um, it would go up. So my first thought is how is your sleep? How's the quality of your sleep? Like, are you dreaming about something? Are you having a heat? What do you call it when you get sweats? Yeah,
hot flash.
hot flash. Todd, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, the 3 a.m. is a giveaway for me. Pretty much every human being has a certain rise of cortisol between 3 and 4 in the morning, and that's a really natural thing. And it's called the dawn phenomenon. And it's what it is that it's generally generally clocked with your circadian rhythm with the rise of the sun, and our body puts out cortisol to wake us up. And that's why it happens. But I think we all sleep a little bit later than we should. I think we stay up later than we should. We're kind of built to rise with the sun and set with the sun. And that's kind of what these cortisol spikes are built off of. That's just called the dawn phenomenon. It happens to a lot of people's blood sugar, and it wakes us up, including me, which after carnivore and resetting my circadian rhythm and going, like, you can fix that, but you have to be kind of on it. You got to go, like, if you say you want to get up at 6 instead of 3, get up at 6 every day. Like, you got to keep your room dark, but then once you're up at 6, open the windows, let some light in, and then get outside immediately and go look at the sun. You got to take your glasses off if you have them. You need your eyes bare to the sun. Don't look into the sun, but get some sun in your eyes and look out at the horizon for like 15 minutes, and it resets your circadian rhythm. And then that'll start letting your cortisol spike happen a little bit later in the day.
Perfect. This one for me, how do you have such a flat tummy? Okay. My first 3 years, I always want to bring it back to where I came from. My first 3 years, no way did I have, I guess, the type of midsection that I have now. I really credit it to my consistency. I cannot stress it enough. When I first started this live stream, I started with the pillar of let's keep it simple. Let's avoid overthinking carnivore and making it way more complicated than it has to be. My second most important pillar would have to be consistency. Nothing will trump and beat consistency because you can't cheat that. There are no shortcuts to have a flat tummy forever. If you're not healed, and if your metabolism isn't revved up and on fire, and if your hormones are not singing because it's so happy. So for some people to have that level of health and metabolism and happy hormones, it's going to take a couple years, like it took me right here. I didn't always have the body composition that I have now. Absolutely not. And I don't ever want you guys to feel like, well, if I eat like Bella eats now, doesn't that mean I'm going to look like her? Unfortunately, that's not how our bodies work because we have all walked different paths of stressing out our bodies, damaging it a little bit by calorie restriction, again, working out maybe a little bit too hard, even losing someone, grieving, having difficult moments in your life that are natural can affect your needs for healing and needing to prime. and needing to focus on nourishment for a bit and just taking a step back and pausing. So I always like to focus on that. It's really, for me, being carnivore, the last thing for me is about the looks and the weight loss and the body composition and all of that. You have no idea how grateful I am. And I don't say this enough because I forget that my skin, I had a pizza face basically my entire teenage years, early 20s, cystic acne all over my face. I should probably show pictures, but I don't have it ready, but you can find it easily online. So, puts filled, bright red pimples all the time, like that really breaks your self esteem, especially as a teenage girl and trying to figure out what she wants to do, who she even is. So, this is why I have so much sympathy and love for the young women who reach out to me who are like, Bella, I'm really struggling with my skin, or I lost my period, or I'm just trying to feel good again. And that's what I want to focus on when I make any type of carnivore content. Of course, I'm gonna deliver the requests you guys want, more weight loss tips, more fat loss, body recomp advice. Sure, I'll show you what I learned along the way, but don't ever forget health is number one. Health is number one. So don't try to lose weight at the expense of your health, please. We're here for you to walk the journey together. Ryan, are there good, let's do one team member per question because I'll need to wrap up in 12 minutes. Are there good sugars and bad sugars? Just like there are good and bad proteins and fats, Todd.
No, I don't think so. I mean, some people would contest that because, well, I don't know. I don't think so. There's no essential carbohydrate and no essential sugar. So I think I don't believe that any of them are good. I think that we can tolerate them and we can tolerate some of them better than others, but I don't think that makes them inherently good. I think that they have to provide your body some some upside, some nutrients, some benefit, and sugar just doesn't. So I would say no.
I agree. This is from Target Prime Rib. When I have coffee, I have it black or I have fatty coffee with butter, bacon grease, and have even used egg yolks blended in together. Delicious. Have you guys had fatty coffee ever, Melanie?
Oh yeah, I have fatty coffee all the time.
Amazing.
Oh yeah,
And
of
what do
course.
you add?
Well, I have my heavy cream, and I also have the
Yeah.
Bio's Miller's Bio raw dairy
Nice.
that I use. But I have done the egg and the butter, coffee, which is really nice. So in the wintertime, I tend to lean that way just because it's nice and warm, soothing. The summertime, I'm an iced coffee, cold brew kind of person.
Beautiful. Okay, how many grams of butter is in your stick of butter? Half a cup, which is 8 tablespoons, which is 4 ounces, which is 113 grams. Salted or not salted? Not salted for me personally. That's just a personal preference, but I've noticed most carnivores prefer salted. Just you do you. Bobby, has any of your gang gone through hormonal issues during perimenopause? It is killing me. My sleep is messed up and my anxiety is crippling. Melanie, you take this.
Well, yeah, I have to say yes, but I unfortunately the butter thing didn't work for me. So, but I wouldn't say that it hasn't helped me, but I'm good. I'm 59 now, so I think it's just part of age. But I do have supplementation that I use as well, so that helps me because I couldn't do it any other way. But I think it can help, though. I think especially if they're younger. And if you follow Elizabeth Bright's recommendations and way she teaches, I think it would be probably beneficial for a lot of people.
Yep. I think Dr. Elizabeth Bright is the only person you need to learn from right now, especially since you're going through what you are. Anyone struggling with perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, or just female hormones in general, the only person you need to learn from is Dr. Elizabeth Bright. So search her up. I have so many videos with her. She's frequently visiting as a guest speaker in the Steak and Butter Gang. And I'm going to be launching a private group community with Dr. Bright very soon. And I think it's going to launch in the next 2 weeks. So keep an eye out for that. Of course, I'll make sure it's announced and you guys can work with her closely. Can one eat ghee like butter? Yes. anyone eat raw eggs? Todd does.
I don't anymore, but for 8 months, I ate 54 raw eggs every day for testosterone support. So, yes, you can, and it's fine. So, go for it.
Love it. Dwayne, SBG, thank you. You're welcome. I'm a few days shy of 1 year carnivore, and it's been great. Congratulations. I'm down 40 plus pounds and I feel much better. It's not about the weight anymore. Such a better way of life. And I don't miss the sugar. Look at that. That is amazing. Congratulations, Dwayne. Very happy for you.
And that's the real goal, not the end weight. That is the goal.
That's the goal. Bella, I'm curious if you've done level 3 as well. As a woman, I don't know if it's a good idea to do level 3, if it will tank my metabolism or health since I'm not eating as much. This is such a great question. And I've done up to level 2. The part where I believe that's level 2. It's the part where Raymond teaches you rolling 48s. And I loved that experience so much. I decided to just forget about the rest of the calendar and kind of do it my way, which was extend that rolling 48 span of time a little bit until I couldn't do it anymore. And then actually, I think I pushed it a little bit too hard because then I had to go back to nourishing and a little mini prime. So I actually think Raymond really knows what he's doing. As much doubt as you guys are feeling when you walk through his calendar, because it's just so ominous. Like, how can he know the set of fasts that will work, that will teach you the most, that will give you the most benefit? He knows because he's worked with so many clients before this calendar was even created. So he was a carnivore coach in Dr. Sean Baker's community back in the day, before we were even carnivores here. MeatRx was what it's called. I don't even know if any of you guys know what MeatRx is. It's now called Revero. And he was the top coach, the most sought after coach in MeatRx for years and years and years before I even went carnivore and accidentally met him. And from there, I learned the beauty of fasting the proper way from him. And I think he teaches fasting the best. No one else teaches it like him because he focuses on nourishment first, which is priming in his program. And so my best advice is, like Raymond always says, obviously observe your body signals. Are you still enjoying the good energy? How's your sleep? That's why he has weekly calls in the challenges, is so that you can check in with him each week to get the best guidance and the best next step. So I really can't tell you what's best for you, Shini, because I don't know where you are in your journey or your story or your background, but Raymond is really the best candidate here in his meetings. Okay, Colt, how much collagen should we eat? Raise your hand, Todd, Melanie. Do you eat collagen right now? Oh, great. Okay, take it, Melanie.
Yeah, I mean, I love collagen. I mean, I have Arma collagen. I have collagen powder that I'll use, the beef collagen. I like bone marrow. I mean, I love collagen. So whenever I can get bone marrow, I get it. So.
And how much do you eat?
It just depends. Like if I can go to my butcher and get the bone marrow, then I'll get it. Sometimes they don't always have it, but I mean, I'll eat 2 or 3 bones at one time along with my steak or whatever, kind of like we did at our meetup. So, I'll just have the steak and then my marrow with it. I don't do it a whole lot, but I definitely incorporate it for sure.
Love it.
Better than the powder, though. Better than the powder.
Perfect.
Try to eat as natural as you can.
I agree. Okay, so yesterday I had a steak labeled ribeye for the first time. It was so tough. I hated it. Was it labeled wrong? And did I cook it wrong? Or should I not have defrosted it? Tips, Todd?
There could be so many things. Yeah, honestly, if you don't know what a ribeye looks like, you cooked it wrong for sure. Because if you don't know what a ribeye looks like and you cooked it, you probably overcooked it. Number one. Number two, you can buy the same cut of meat over and over and over again, and 3 times out of 5 it'll be awesome, and 2 times it's just going to be tough. It's just the cut. These aren't like machine factory built pieces of meat. These are naturally grown pieces of meat. They come from different parts on the cow. Sometimes you're going to get a tough one. You're kind of playing the averages with that, but yeah, don't let that discourage you. Ribeyes are awesome. You're going to really get to know what they look like. They have a tip on them that's a fat. They have a ribeye cap on top that wraps around it, and then it's got the eye of the ribeye. You can't miss them once you get an eye for it.
Yes.
But learn your cuts of steak and then learn how to cook them, because that will make your carnivore journey way easier. But it sounds like you're one ribeye into a future of thousands, so you will get it.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
it. So
exactly.
positive. That's great. How long until my acne clears up on carnivore? I don't want to excite you by saying, oh, it could take anywhere from weeks to a month, because for me, it took 6 months. So just have the realistic expectation that it might take up to 6 months, because the skin is the last thing to heal for a lot of us carnivores. And it was for me. So up to 6 months. We already did this. Okay. Smith, welcome. I have a problem eating enough. A lot of stress lately. So will that interfere in my weight loss? What do you think, Todd?
Yeah, the stress alone will interfere in your weight loss, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. Weight loss doesn't equate like health. Your body, when you're in a stress spot, it's going to hold on to weight. It's going to hold on to fluid retention. It's fine. This isn't a day-by-day thing. The better thing to worry about is how to get rid of the stress, work on that, and then get your appetite back, because you need to heal. And that the healing is going to be the most important part, and getting rid of that stress so you can sleep better. Stress management is huge. Sleep is huge. And then, when you don't want to eat, you kind of got to work on eating like it's your job, especially if it's chronic stress for forever. Sometimes if there's really big stressors like a death in the family or something, then that's one thing. But if you're just accustomed to being in a stressful position and you haven't really dealt with it, you're going to have to learn how to eat too, to kind of help you heal in that spot and learn to deal with the stress better on a daily basis. So yes, it'll definitely hold weight on you for sure.
Yes, but take care of yourself during this stressful time. That's what's most important, not your weight loss. Keep us posted. Okay, let's keep going. I wish I could afford this diet, that much steak a day. Hmm. I think we all think carnivore here can be extremely budget friendly. Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I've
You
been
know
eating mostly lately is pemmican.
Grumpy?
And
Oh,
you know what pemmican is?
Hamburger.
As well, it's mine is eye of round, which is one of the cheapest steaks there. And I slice it and then I dehydrate it. It's eye of round and tallow. And you can get tallow off of the cheapest meat and you can cook it. And I eat mostly pemmican. And then you can find stuff on sale. But even if you don't, if you put it in a sous vide cooker or a slow cooker, you can take chuck roast and put it in a slow cooker, and it's fantastic. You can use ground beef, and it's fantastic. There's no reason that you can't do carnivore. You don't have to eat ribeyes all day. But I will tell you this, that after you do this long enough and you have less sick days at work and you're more productive and you get raises and you stop buying so much toilet paper because you stop pooping 6 times a day and you stop buying Pepto-Bismols and Tums and all that crap, you're going to save a lot of money and you're going to have plenty of ribeye money in your pocket.
That's right.
Todd
Hamburger
is
and eggs, baby.
fire.
Hamburger and eggs all day long.
Did you eat a lot of pemmican's today, Todd, or are you fasted right now?
Nope, I ate 6 of them today. I eat 6 bars a day, which gives me 200 grams of protein and 400 grams of fat. So I get my 2-to-1 in, and it costs like $3 a bar. So that's like $18 a day.
Todd, I'm sending you my address after we get off this call.
No worries. Oh, but we do have a meeting after this, and we're at our time, aren't we?
Yes, we are. So I wanted to wrap up with this amazing message here. Tammy really hopes she can come to the next meetup, which is July 4th, 2026. Let me put it up in case you guys are new to the carnivore community or my channel. And Tammy, we hope to see you too. We hope you can come too. It is in Todd's hometown of all places, Bozeman, Montana, and it's the perfect place for a carnivore meetup because of the scenery, the delicious meat. It is an awesome, most gorgeous place. And it obviously will feature all of these amazing faces. Todd, any words of inspiration here?
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, you got to change your environment, and that starts with building your new community. And this is where it starts at a grassroots level. And when you meet people in person, it's just a game changer to actually have that experience and to definitely celebrate. That's why ours is built, our meetup is built mostly around, just socializing around a holiday and having a good time and sharing meals together and getting to talk, because we're just building a community. We all have these panels and lectures and things online. You can see that all day, but this is mostly built around a one-of-a-kind connection. Yeah.
That's right. And do come. sbg.com events. So there's no www that you need to type in case you're having issues. Just type in sbg.events in your internet browser and you can read all about the details and the tickets. Okay. Thank you guys so much. Let me stop share and wish you guys well. We love you so much. Come back every single week, update us, ask great questions like you always do. And we'll see you in the Steak and Butter Gang. Good night.
See you guys next time.